Hey everybody, my name is Russ. That is Lauren. Welcome to our Sunday vinyl video, and we have one here that is a follow-up to, I feel like this is a companion album to a review and discussion we had about Sam Cooke live at the Copa.
Sure.
I personally think both of these are kind of required reading for Sam Cooke. Like in the studio, Sam Cooke was one thing, but like live, he's completely different. And
Totally.
And we've talked about the Copa album before, and if you own the Copa, it's not a bad show at all. Like I think you should own both. But the Harlem Square show is completely different. Like the band is more showing off for each other than anything. Certainly the musicians along with Sam, I think, are cutting a lot more loose. The crowd to me just sounds like they're having a lot more fun. Mm-hmm. It's pretty easy to understand all the reasons why that would happen, so we don't need to go into those. But I do think it's I think that you should own both if you're gonna own any live Sam Cooke album. So what we want to do is go through what we usually do with this, but this is the Music on Vinyl pressing of Sam Cooke at the Harlem Square Club, and Music on Vinyl is a company that I like a great deal. For a very long time, they were doing stuff that like nobody else would do. They would get reissues that like nobody else would do, or they do a bunch of first time vinyl stuff that nobody else would do. And for whatever reason, this album has seen a resurgence, but this album was one of those things for like the longest time where I remember clearly around like 2010 or 2011, somebody telling me like, the one I really want to get is Sam Club at the Harlem Square. And I was like, well, just go find it. And he was like, oh no, that's out of print. You can't. Yeah. And then not within like a year, Music on Vinyl put this out. And then since then it's become like, you can walk into any record store now and find it.
Yeah.
But, Music on Vinyl does some things that I think, even if they're like readily available side by side, there's a lot of times where I would choose theirs, even though they're more pricey. So we're going to walk through all of that stuff when we talk about everything. Packaging. The first thing Music on Vinyl does, and I want to be clear, it's not like, these aren't like silk screened, or they're not exact replicas of the original pressings. I forget what it's called, but I've talked to you before about like the little lip thing that flips over.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have things like that. But I think there's something to be said for using like good materials. Like it's like thick cardboard for the cover, very good photos. Like there are some people that do reissues like that will like blow up the CD cover to 12 inches and it's blurry. And, that may sound like a low bar, but that's a thing that happens.
I know.
And then this is where we insert my usual rant about Rice Paper Inner Slaves. Music on Vinyl, I don't think I've ever come across a release that doesn't have it. They always include an insert, like, and I put pictures of this stuff all the way through the video, but like they always have an insert, like if there was an original paper inner.
Oh, it's there for you to have it. Cool.
So, for me, like the pressing of the Copa we have is a great reissue, but just the Music on Vinyl version of the Harlem Square just feels higher quality to me, if that makes sense.
I get it.
Sound wise, now here's what's interesting. Usually I'm the one in the room that can go, well, I've heard an original pressing, but I've never heard an original pressing of this. So I guess I'll just revert to saying the sound of the show, which I think you and I have talked about this a great deal. You probably can talk about how incredible it sounds.
Oh my God. Well, like, yes. So comparing this to the Copa, right? Because we did this thing with this, and I feel like the people need to know this.
Okay.
We dressed up fancy. We made martinis, and we listened to both of them. Mm-hmm. Like we had a fancy in-house, lovely little evening with it.
I don't want to name names, but somebody was having a bad day. And it was like, you know what? We have the ability to do these things at home. Let's do this. And I think we were going to just listen to Copa. And then at some point I was like, well, we have to play.
Yeah. So we did it. And like, for the mood I was in and like where, what the whole evening kind of was, it just, the raucous energy of the crowd I felt like I was part of it listening to this. So, I mean, that's something that I just think it's neat. No,
I love that. And we were just listening to this record the other day with another friend, and we were talking about the sound, about how, thank goodness for people who know how to mic rooms and or who did then, because now we're listening to stuff that's 60 years old that very well could have, much of this recording could have been recorded yesterday.
Yeah.
And the feeling in the room is well conveyed through the through the sound.
So for sure.
Price is where you get into issues with music on vinyl, because this is a single LP issue. If you did find a used copy of it, this is something that would probably go for $10. Nowadays, you can get reissues of this, depending on the company, for like $25, something like that. Music on vinyl, their pressing of this is $40, and I don't think that's too wild. But if you're standing in a record store holding both and being like, well, why would I pay?
Right.
You know what I mean? I could see that being the thing. The value for me is in supporting a company who does this kind of work. Like, I believe that one of the reasons why this record is so widely available now is because the music on vinyl version was the one people were buying and playing for other people. That's not remotely fact. That's just based on the 9 years that I had people over to play records all the time.
Yeah.
And the word of mouth that I physically saw people doing. And then people were like, oh, literally a couple of years later, somebody was like, oh, they're finally reissuing that record. So, if you're standing in a record store today, not shopping on Amazon, but standing in an actual record store, and you have both versions in your hand, like I couldn't see why you would pay the $15 more. But if you really want to support a company who's doing this type of thing, then I could see value in that.
I get that completely. Yeah, I mean, it's right there. It's right there. I'm right there with you.
And if you haven't listened to either one of these, you messed up. Like, you really should listen to Sam Club at the Copa. Like, you really should. I was just telling you the other day that a friend of mine put on Facebook once regarding Pet Sounds, that like, if you don't have it in your record collection, if you don't know Sam Cooke live material and you claim to like soul and R&B music, like, and you haven't heard these, then you don't actually like soul and R&B music, in my opinion. Like,
That's fair.
This is the mountaintop of it, in my opinion. So please drop any comments or questions that you have for us. Go back through the channel if this is your first time with us, because every single Sunday we have a vinyl video, and we're always just talking about stuff we bought. Like, there's no agenda here. There's no, like, we're not like making everybody listen to vinyl. We're not talking about how you can only listen to 45 RPM, or, colored vinyl's the worst, or like, other than picture discs, I don't have anything bad to say about anything. Like, we're always just looking for pluses to whatever releases we find. And if we do find a bad release of something, trust me, you'll know. There's probably at least a couple on the channel. So, but if you would, please drop a like on the channel or on the video, because that helps the channel out. And then also make sure to leave a comment or a question if you have them for us. That's Lauren. My name is Russ. Thanks for watching.